All right, today I'm going to teach you about why you should start prepping.
You're going to teach them about how to start prepping.
Well, yeah.
Because, you know, they should be following us.
Yeah?
How did that bug out video go?
Yeah, we may have forgotten some key items
Toilet paper.
toilet paper or a flashlight.
Yeah. And of course that coffee can video went real well when I lit myself on fire with the rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, that's a good point. So instead, for this video, let's go to the community and see why our entire collective says you should start prepping.
Yeah, the source of the source. That's a good way to go.
Yep.
Well, take it away. That's a much better plan.
All right. I don't like that word. I don't like the word preppers because that kind of insinuates crazy Uncle Bob living in a bunker underground. So we're gonna change the words. Instead, we're gonna say this is why people start to become more prepared adults for situations that they're not gonna experience quite that often. We're gonna be doing this by scrolling through Reddit. If you have any ideas for videos for us to try out, let us know in the comments below. Reddit's the #1 place that I go when I want an actual human's response. So let's hear from Diver Daddy Zero about why he and his family now starts to prep.
Military first, then working in disaster recovery, seeing how fragile it all is, how quickly it descends into chaos. For example, I arrived to Mexico Beach, Panama City, 2-3 days after Hurricane Michael hit. Power was out, area flooded, homes destroyed. People were in shock, absolute shock. Some holed up, but most just sitting through stuff or walking to find help. Emergency vehicles couldn't get around due to all the damage. Then the looting started. By day 4 to 5, neighborhoods had barricaded the roads. Hung "You loot, we shoot" signs with tally marks on how many shots had been fired. Small pickups full of men were roving neighborhoods stealing anything that wasn't boosted down. Elderly folks attacked in their homes. Day 4-5. In America! Before anyone was starving or anything. It took over a month to get power water back to the area I was helping. By that time, we were fortified, had regular watches set, and knew immediately who didn't belong when they drove in.
So the photo that you guys saw wasn't necessarily Diver Daddy Zero. We fed that to an AI to generate the image. His example was a very serious example that devolved into different forms of violence. It's also important to note that prepping or preparing, becoming a prepared adult, starts at different levels. Work on the first most likely thing that is probably going to happen to you. A forest fire, a flood, an earthquake. And for most people, that's a go bag. Now I can hear all of you now. A go bag, you're not bugging out. Why are you start with a go bag? Let me explain. A go bag is a backpack that's designed to be able to be picked up with all of your core essentials in it. That's an extra shirt, extra underwear, a little bit of food, some water. It's not the survival carry-all, but it is something that when you have a forest fire burning through the area and you get the evacuation notice, you're gonna have a toothbrush in that backpack. So let's hear a story from MX Prepper about the utility of a go bag, even in situations that it's not necessarily going to be the apocalypse.
My wife and I were in Mexico City and had to evacuate our hotel during an earthquake. Being fully clothed and with all our gear standing next to fully naked people that had nothing really put things into perspective. We took our bug-out bags on the trip and adjusted accordingly, earthquake-prone urban area. We made it a point to make sure they were packed, and by the door every day we were there. We carried a lighter, essentials-only version everywhere we went.
Now, let's hear from a Reddit user about why a go bag is useful on literally a day-to-day schedule for him. Because, let's be honest, we're out and about quite often, and things happen. Sometimes you need extra diapers for your buddy. Made it sound like John shitting himself in the back of a 7-Eleven parking lot.
My car bag gets used all the time. Kids' change of clothes, wipes, etc., water when on the interstates and not wanting to hop off but a thirsty passenger or myself. Same with Cliff Bars if hungry. I've used a tarp from it several times, ranging from drop cloth when changing oil to covering equipment from rain to building a blind with included cordage. The first aid kit in it has come in handy numerous times, as has the DEET I keep. Everything has its use, and I can't think of an item in it I haven't had to use yet.
Now that, in theory, you're convinced to start becoming a more prepared adult, where do you start? Let's talk about different categories that you might think about prepping in order of likelihood of usage. Level 1 is basic preparedness. That's where a bug out bag or a go bag happens. Spend $150 on a backpack, some ibuprofen, put your medicine in there, get a shirt. Level 2 is intermediate preparedness. That's more along the lines of a 3-day go bag. That's a completely separate bag that's designed to be able to allow you to, if there's no power, if there's no gas, if your car breaks down and you're 3 days out, that bag should have everything you need for 72 hours. Advanced preparedness. This is months. This is now you have your go bag, you have your 72-hour bag. Every single one of your kids has a go bag. Now you can start and looking at what happens after 72 hours. What happens after that month? Well, you need food for that time frame. How do you do that? We have decided that a freeze dryer is the way to go. We have a ton of videos on that, or we're building a video library on that, because a freeze dryer, stuff stays shelf stable for so long. This is stuff like garden planning. This is stuff like canning. This is stuff like a lot of food preparation, as well as water preparation. So you're gonna start looking at, how am I gonna heat my house in the winter if I don't have electricity or natural gas? Ultimate preparedness. Now, this one is Uncle Bob in the basement. He dug a bunker because he thought that the world's gonna end and he needs to not touch human civilization for a minimum of 2 years. In my opinion, that's ludicrous. Not necessarily the preparing for that, but the reality of the matter is the thing that's going to keep you alive is community. So ultimate preparedness is start to talk to your friends. Go around, get to know your neighbors. Get to know what they need and who might have what they need. That's getting seeds stored away. That's a whole lot of stuff that I honestly don't know about. So if you like this idea, this concept about going through and actually hearing why people have started to prep, why people have decided that they need to become more prepared adults, if you liked it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's a little bit different. It's talking head, I know. We're the Survival Idiots, and if you're interested in learning about what we put in a Walmart bug out bag that costs $200, we have a video on that. Why did I start prepping? Because my house is a van, and in a van, if it breaks down on the side of the road, I need to be able to make it to a town. That's why I started.